everybody, David from Flash by V CycleNet here. Next up for testing on the Zx4rr, I know it just doesn't stop, does it? Is this kick-ass racing components exhaust system. It's a full exhaust made by Brian Sheridan. If you're not familiar with him, he's been kicking around the MotoGP paddock, or not MotoGP, sorry, Moto America paddock for a while, and works with the 400 Ninja stuff. And bought one of these, the Zx4rr, so he's showing his interest in the bike, and came up with a full exhaust system that is basically using the stock header, and then he builds a jig and welds these up as a full system. It's kind of got a cool looking little can on it, and so we're going to test it and see how it performs. Looks wise, weight wise, I was very surprised. It's only 11 pounds 14 ounces. So it's like 1 ounce heavier than the full M4 system. Welds on it look pretty nice. Everything's kind of cleaned up and looks good. Canister, I kind of like the looks of the brushed canister. We'll see what it looks like when it's all on there. But I'll get this mounted up, and I will start some street tuning today. And then over the weekend, we'll start to get some dyno pulls and see how this thing compares. This should be offer a nice price point value compared to the other full systems that are out there. So let me give you a little short video of how this system looks installed. When I do my testing, I don't put the bodywork on, but it looks pretty nice. Angle looks pretty good. I like the finish on it. So far impressed. Installed really easily. His jig must be perfect because I had no issues whatsoever installing it. So first dyno run we're going to look at is the stock bike versus this system tuned with my tune, of course, and the results that I was able to achieve. As expected, it towers over the stock bike. There are no places that this system tuned is below the stock bike. It's got a nice power curve. The number almost 75 horsepower is in line with what I've achieved with the other full systems. We'll compare it directly to the Graves in a second here. But this is really nice results. It tuned really easy, and you'd expect this because it's based off the stock pipe. Next, let's look at how the Graves full low mount system versus this full system compare on the same day, back to back, done about 45 minutes apart. And we can see there are no places that this kick-ass system is below the Graves. But there's a few places where it's the same. For the most part, it's a little bit behind it. But considering the price point on this is $675, I think that's a great value. How this works is you order the exhaust from Brian, and you send him your stock header, and then he modifies it and sends it back. His email, if you'd like to contact him, is bmhs1946@gmail.com. That's bmhs1946@gmail.com, and he can get you set up with this system. He should be pretty happy with how this works for comparing against a much more expensive system. Lastly, we're going to look at how the system compares with the DB Killer provided by Brian installed versus it out. You can see with the DB Killer, we lose a couple horsepower on top. That's to be expected, but not too bad considering the DB Killer does actually do a good job of reducing noise. With my normal type of testing, I got 70 decibels at idle, and it pegged the meter over at 130 without the DB Killer. With the DB Killer installed, I got 64 decibels of idle and 111 decibels on the run. Brian asked me to do a slightly different test where I hold the meter closer to the bike and about 30 inches away off at a 45-degree angle. With the DB Killer in, I got 85 decibels at idle and 97 on a rev up, and without the DB Killer, I got 93 and 105. So it does a decent job of knocking down the noise. So pretty cool results, especially for the price point that it's at. Remember to hit that subscribe button for more motorcycle related content, and hit that like button if you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, guys.